The big story is what unfolded in the Capitol. The actions of the Capitol police officers now the target of a federal investigation in the wake of Wednesday's riots. The police chief has resigned, the Capitol police chief, as more information comes out about how some officers aided the mob. Brooklyn Borough President Eric Adams demanding action on 4 fronts so that everybody involved in the riots is held responsible. Eric Adams joining me live. Good morning to you, sir.
Good morning. How are you, Dan? Good to see you.
So, Mr. Adams, let's get to it. First, let me get your reaction to the resignation of some of President Trump's cabinet members and the Capitol Police chief now at this point in time.
So important. First, the cabinet members. They must be true to the country and not to the character of the president. And I think that it is appropriate and it was the correct actions. And when I look at my law enforcement heads who were there for the Capitol Police, they should resign immediately. The lack of preparation, this was not a secret. We knew it was going to be some form of a protest, and they should have been better prepared like they were for the Black Lives Matter marches.
Some members of the Capitol Police Department, they are now coming forward with information that off-duty police officers, members of the military, were actually part of the riot. Now, I want to ask you, do you know if those claims are being looked into? Because when you actually saw some of the videos, too, it looked like that some of the officers were taking selfies with the rioters.
That's what I witnessed, and I saw it on one of the videos. You saw police officers opening the gates, allowing people to come in. This is all unacceptable. And what is extremely important is that I believe that the Department of Justice with Congress should hold hearings, immediately subpoena records, look at the role of even the staff that was actually on the ground, because you must have inside information and knowledge to raise the flag over the Capitol. And there's some technical aspects of that, that only if a person informs you of it, you're capable of doing it.
You have been in law enforcement. You know what goes into this kind of planning. You actually referenced what we saw back in June, right? June 2nd to be the exact date, where they were prepared for Black Lives Matter protesters. Many people saying, what if these people's skin color was just different this time around? What would have happened? Thousands of rioters obviously storming the Capitol. When you look at it now, it is not a large number of arrests. How are you expecting them to follow now the trail of social media pictures and actually place people under arrest now?
We know how to do it. We have one of the most capable federal investigatory agencies. It is quite possible to identify the people who were involved. If this was a level of external terrorism, we would be doing that right now. This was internal terrorism. We need to call it for what it is. This was an attempt to crash in the windows, the doors, into the chamber of the Capitol and go inside and, I believe, do harm to some of the members that were there. And if we don't use in a swift manner the same way we did when someone attempted to kidnap the governor of Detroit, it sends the wrong message. And so I believe right now it's imperative that we conduct a thorough investigation, identify those who were a part. We made over 10,000 arrests in the first 2 weeks of Black Lives Matter. Right. And we have to ask ourselves, did we believe that because these were Trump supporters, we did not have to be prepared, but Black Lives Matter, we bring out the National Guard?
So you would call this domestic terrorism?
This is clearly, the photos must be chilling to all Americans to watch someone take objects and crash in the windows of the Capitol. This was not an assault on a building. This was an assault on our democracy.
Mr. Adams, let me ask you this, because many people are saying, well, the Capitol Police were just ill-prepared. Who do you see now leading a task force to get all of these individuals placed under arrest?
I think it's a combination of the Department of Justice, local law enforcement agencies. First, the goal is to identify those who climbed through the window. That's burglary. Identify those who were leading the chants. If any law enforcement person was on the ground participating, they should be identified by their departments. And so we should have our local law enforcement, municipality, police. They should be looking at these videos also to identify any of their personnel. They should be immediately removed from their agencies. If we don't do this, this can cascade throughout our entire country if we don't get a hold of this. And
there's been a lot of talk about 25th Amendment impeachment as well. You are also calling for the president to be investigated to see if he played a role in this.
Yes, I do. I think we need to look at his communications. We saw the other day how he was communicating about trying to find votes in Georgia. We need to look at his communications. We need to find out who on his staff were actually aware of what was going to happen. This must be a thorough investigation, similar to what we did after 9/11, the commission we put in place. This is crucial for our country at this time. We can't take this lightly. This is an assault on our democracy. We need to be clear of that.
And we only have a few seconds left, Borough President. Let me ask you this. We have the inauguration in January 20th. Do you see enough preparations being made, safety-wise, to keep everybody safe for that inauguration day? What needs to be done?
Well, first, remember, we have almost 1,000 people that are still out there at large. Who is to state that they won't return on Inauguration Day? So the Capitol Police, as well as all the other law enforcement personnel that are responsible for protecting the crowd, they need to have proper planning. I'm happy to hear we are going to have new leadership there, and that's what we must do. Yeah.
Many are asking if the Capitol Police couldn't do it yesterday, can they do it for the inauguration? We shall see. Borough President Eric Adams, thank you for your time this morning. I do appreciate it.
Take care.